say, man, I want to welcome you to the Cronkite Show in social media history. Without the music tonight, I got my man Sadiq in the building, the Queen Demetra K, and I'm the five-star general, and I'm going hard in the paint live from my hospital bed because that's how much dedication I got to anything I do. So I'm gonna start it off by saying this here. I saw today that there was a big press conference, and 50 Cent gave $300,000 of his money to match. The Houston Independent School District matched his 300,000 to do an entrepreneurship program at Wheatley, at Cashmere, and at Worth. 50. See if you can get your money back, man. We got an entrepreneurship program that they don't do right by. We got one that they don't do right by right now. I appreciate the gesture, brother. And once you give them your money, they can do whatever they want with your money. They ain't got to give it back. They ain't got to do the program. They can shit on it. They can do whatever they want. And this is where I get confused. Why? And I'm just asking because I don't get it. Why all these city officials in this picture? Because 50 gave some money to the school district. Well, we should have been talking about 900,000 because that means 50 gave 3, HISD gave 3, and the city of Houston could have gave 3. But y'all ain't gonna do that. Man, all y'all on some fuckery. I'm just telling you how I feel right now in the hospital. The people got me blame it on the dope. Y'all on some fuckery. You ain't gonna do right by them kids. I don't give a damn what go on. But I tell you what, it's either this week or next week. We find who's gonna be the superintendent, and then I'm gonna tell y'all on the real how bad this shit really gonna get. Donovan, what's happening, my friend?
All right, what is happening? Welcome to the Monday edition of the War Zone. We love and thank you guys for tuning in. Again, look, here's a man dedicated in his hospital bed, still doing the show. What kind of I'm sorry, not superintendent, but what kind of school board member do you think he's going to be if he's dedicated just to do his show and get this information out to you guys? So we always got to keep that in mind. He's actually out there doing the work, but we always give these bootlicks the position and then they do absolutely nothing. So that's something for you guys to think about. But in the Black news today, I want to just tell you guys, the officer trainer, 26 years of experience, Kimberly Potter, the trial has been set and it's going to start at the end of the year. Colin Kaepernick is about to publish a book, and it's based on abolishing the police. So Colin Kaepernick is still in the fight. And San Francisco, not my city, but the city of San Francisco is going to reinvent $3.75 million or $3.25 million from the police budget into Black businesses. Now, Demetra, I don't know if you know how many Black people actually live in San Francisco. So where's that money actually going? That's what I got in the news today.
Yeah, that money is symbolism, to fool Black people into thinking we're actually getting some instead of just writing us a check, right? So anyway, you guys, again, welcome to Monday night. Glad to have you guys here. If y'all could do us a favor and share this live so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would greatly appreciate it. We are going to talk about a whole host of things tonight. As you guys can see, Gary is he's in the hospital, but he's here, right? So bear with us. So Gary, last night you went live on your own and you were talking about you had a conversation with the young man, the veteran who was gunned down in the doorway. And so we want to talk a little bit more about that tonight. So can you reiterate your conversation with her and any new developments that you know of to this point?
I don't know if there's any new developments. I've been dealing with this all day. But from the conversation that I had with her, the young man was really a good dude, man. He was a veteran. He had got out of the military, trying to get everything in order for himself. The classic story that we hear, trying to get his life in order. And he went to stay with his sister over in South Lawn. To stay with his sister. He worked at Fiesta over there on Kirby by Reliant. So it was nice where he would get off late, the bus would stop running or whatever, or it would only take him so far and he would just walk, just to get back and forth to home. So he'd only, gone over there, to be over there to get his life in order. So that's why I'm telling folks the lies that people want us to believe, like them girls are being messed over, ain't nobody living with them. He was living with his sister. You see what I'm saying? So, the thing is, and we had a good long conversation. I mean, that family is, they're distraught right now. They're hurt behind what happened. And I gave my word that I'm gonna go to war. I'm gonna go to war. I mean, I'm telling y'all now, I'm in the hospital bed, and if somebody was to come get me right now in regards to this here, I pull the shit up out my arm and go to war, man. I don't know this cat, but you know what? I'm sick of good dudes getting killed behind bullshit. I'm just sick of it, man. And it's time for the hood to step up. It's time for us in the hood that have the ability to affect change to step up and not wait for nobody else to do it. If these folk get mad because I'm finna give them the business, then that's what it is. But I mean, he seemed to be a very good dude, and he didn't get caught up in no drama, no gang affiliation, no nothing.
Yeah, that's very sad. Sad that that anybody lost their life, but that he's a veteran. Gone and served, and then come home and have something so horrific happen to him. In front of so many people. And you were also saying that the girl who was egging it on, you said she's been in the news for some things as well.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell y'all that I'm full of that good dope right now. So blame it on the rain. I got Tony syndrome. Blame it on the rain. Y'all know who that girl is, man. That's the girl who was on the news for beating a dog. That's the girl who was on the news for kicking a dog in South London. So it ain't like, and if she can do all that, where all my animal lovers? They need to kick her out of the facility just based on that. I mean, so she's the person that seems to always be caught up in something over there. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all that support her, I get it. But there's a lot of people all over the country that are just not cool with the way this went down. From what we saw, it's not cool, bro. You can't defend stupidity every single day. I'm sorry. And for you dudes that's getting mad because your little boot thing might be getting put out, man, all pussy ain't good pussy, man.
Also, I was kind of trolling today in the city of Houston. It just seems like a lot of stuff is going on in the city of Houston. I think a young lady, they had a rally, Ben Crump and Sheila Jackson Lee did a rally down there in Houston about a lady that got killed last year. And Ben Crump was talking about he's going to bring them justice or something like that. I wasn't really familiar with the story, but did you hear about
it? The lady in Baytown and Pamela, I can't remember her last name,
right,
but
right.
Yeah, I mean, they like 20 murders late. They been killing niggas in Baytown. They ain't open their mouth then. Whoa, see the Rosa Parks? Shit, they been killing black folk in Baytown.
Yeah, the funny thing about that thing when I watched it, I guess the daughter or the sister, they didn't really explain who it was. She got on the mic after all the stuff and whatever, and she for some reason, I don't know what it had to do with the rally and the remembrance of this lady, but she got on there talking about, well, I call Ben Crump, and every time I call him, I know he's busy all over the country, and he picks up the phone, and he's a good dude, and he follows. And I'm listening to that, and I'm thinking, is this Ben Crump's way now of making these people speak good things about him as people are finding out? Yeah, he's getting the judgments, but he's not getting the justice. You know what I mean? And it's like this chick was just saying all these things. I was like, what do these platitudes to Ben Crump have to do with this woman being murdered?
That if you notice, that's something they all started to do. I'm gonna tell y'all about one of them off the app. Gonna break your heart. It's gonna break your heart, man. That's what they do. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Johnnie Cochran was a once in a lifetime shot for us. Cochran gave a damn about black people. Cochran had been fighting the LAPD forever. Before OJ and all that shit there. He had been doing it. You know, been getting settlements out the deal. But the thing about Cochran is he could go in that courtroom and he could battle. I've yet to see Ben Crump battle any goddamn thing. All he is an ambulance chase. He shows up, jumps on the case, gets some publicity behind it, and then everybody starts sucking his ass. I mean, I'm not impressed. I'm just telling you the real. They got to come down to Third Ward, Texas this weekend with their bullshit about George Floyd. They done milked this man's name so much, I don't think they got no milk left in the carton. So, you know, I'm not impressed. I think they run around here with that bullshit. I'm not going to suck his ass until I see him get in the courtroom. We might well suck them other people's ass that's battling in the courtroom. But, I mean, you're not doing us no favor just taking the money and not getting the justice. Demetra.
So I see, let's see here. Corey Williams, how you doing? You said Houston media has been worried about a effing tiger all week, and I haven't seen this story yet. And so if you guys know, there was a tiger that was on the loose. The owner had it in the house, and then the owner ran with the tiger. They were looking for it for about a couple days or so, 5 days, and they ended up finding the tiger. I guess yesterday the wife brought it in so they can do what they needed to do with it. But you're absolutely right. I haven't seen this on the news at all. Like, I've seen it trending around social media, but nothing on the news. And, you know, Gary, I think you were saying this yesterday. You know, had that been a police officer or somebody white that had did that to somebody, to him, we would heard about it all over the place. Black Lives Matter, and, you know, everybody would have had something to say. But because it was a black man that killed a black man, it's really kind of on social media, and it's almost like a novelty, right? Like, ooh, did you see that? You know,
we've allowed them to spin this narrative. We've ignored our own black problems when it comes to black on black crime. We refuse to address these issues. We didn't make them a priority. Now, there's another reason that they may not be addressing this. Oh yeah, Mr. South Lawn owner, I might be sick, motherfucker, but I ain't dead. I might be sick, but I ain't dead. My fingers work. I can promise you that, and I can dig up that dirt. You understand that government, that these people run the newspapers. They run the media, right? We ain't heard nothing about this. Does it have anything to do with a case from 2016 where a woman's husband was gunned down in there and she sued South Lawn? She sued them for wrongful death. And then y'all made her take a bullshit settlement because you knew she didn't have a lot of money. She couldn't fight you long. You made her take a bullshit settlement, sign an NDA, and be quiet about it. Y'all remember that case? I'm not talking to y'all out there. I'm talking about to them people that's watching, that's suppressing this shit in the news. You remember that case? No, this place has a history of being sued for wrongful death. And it's always the same shit. People that's not supposed to be there. Not enough security. You see what I'm saying? The same shit every time. But if it would have been a white person, I'm saying it, and y'all know it's true, man, this shit would be all over every fucking newspaper. They'd be passing out flyers on this shit. This shit would be on milk cartons. But it's just another dead nigga, so they don't care.
Afro Diaspora Network says, Demetra, if they caught the tiger, you can go outside now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know where it was, and I didn't want to be trying to eat me, okay? No, but yeah, it's, and Chantel, how you doing? You say they're not addressing it because it's what they want. As long as we're killing one another, they don't give a damn. And that nothing could be, you know, more true. She's right.
Chantel said so.
Huh?
She hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
The way you gentrify the neighborhood faster, you let them niggas tear it up.
Yep.
Make people think that it's not worthy of being lived in. Not the people that you want to come live there, But the people that already live there, put fear in their hearts, force them out the neighborhoods. And then once you force them out, you come in with every fucking resource that you can name, fix it up, put the dog trails in there, the bike trails, fix the school up, and then fuck it. It's all great. Amen.
Yeah, I mean, when they do that, also it drives the price of the properties down, so they're getting it on pennies on the dollar. But Pioneer says, I know a lot of people who are harder on Crump and Tamika Mallory than they are the gangsters and the thugs killing innocent people in the hood. They act like Crump and Mallory are the ones hurting folks. Well, no, that's not it. The thing is, what we're saying is, I don't care if Crump is making $1 million, but just like the 5-star said, the money's always going to be there. But the justice, we're missing the justice. And this is what Samir Rice's mom has been saying. You can have all the money in the world. It's not going to bring your child back. But where's the justice so this doesn't happen to other people out there? I mean, again, we could sit here and talk about the gangsters and stuff. They don't enact legislation. They aren't elected. So that's what we're talking about. Where is the justice? You got a group of people who have more money than any other group in the United States that are pretty small in numbers, but on the very first try, they became a protected class with 58 Congressional Black Caucus members voting that they be protected, and we can't get any protection. The Emmett Till bill has been sitting in Congress for over 60 years. The George Floyd bill still can't pass. So that's what we're talking about. We got to get the justice, and we got to get these Tamika Mallory's and Ben Crumps on code to get us the justice, because if we don't get the justice, they're going to continue to do what they're doing.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm hard on Tamika. I'm hard on Crump, man. I'm hard on it because I'm in this game. I'm not just watching it, bro. I play this game every day, and they need to check themselves. I don't give a damn if you're a fan of them or not. Oh, well, Crump he's only a civil attorney. When the last time you seen that man in the fucking courtroom, man? When the last time you seen him in the courtroom, man? Did he go in there for Trayvon? Did he go in there for Sandra Bland? Man, the man cut deals, man. Remember when the OJ trial happened? What was the reason that they shifted from Robert Shapiro to Johnnie Cochran? Because Shapiro only wanted to cut a fucking deal. That's all some attorneys do, bro. And in this case, I'm not finna applaud this dude because he get millions of dollars. Can we get the justice? Trayvon Pellerin and them ain't get no goddamn justice. But they still gonna get their money. The money gonna be there. And see, that's what drives us all the time. It's always a dollar sign. Man, I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart, and I don't give a fuck who like it. And if I get up out of here, I might go to the function this weekend for George Floyd because I know the punk motherfucker will be there. Fuck Crump in his ass to the core. And I said that for every parent you done fucked over, dude.
Well, Lord, have mercy. What kind of medication you want up in there?
Good free dope.
Well, I will say this, the Pioneer, I think that was who made that comment. I think, basically to what Donovan said, they're eating off of the cause while the rest are starving for justice. And that's what the problem is. It's like, nobody's necessarily mad that they're getting the money. It's like, okay, you're getting all this fame and notoriety, off of the blood that's been spilled of other people. But yet the justice is kind of it's trickling in. Like George Floyd, if you want to call that justice, we won't know until Derek is sentenced, right? But that was really the clear sign of justice that we've seen in a long time. And so I get it. They're out there and they're spreading the word and, we need justice and change. But it's like, after a while, they're going to end up getting lumped in with Black Lives Matter. Like, y'all talking up a real good game. And I like Tamika Mallory. I really do. So I don't know how much necessarily that applies to her. but you're talking a real good game. But it's like, well, where is like, where are you moving the ball with all of these things that you're talking about, right? So they're getting all this money, but yet, like, so what are we waiting for? Like, what is the end game here? You know what I mean? So that's not really clear.
Let me get it started, and y'all gonna fall right into this thing. The pioneers say, laugh out loud, 5-star sunlight. I'm not sure what's going on or what kind of hush money Crump is working out. However, if you get rid of Crump, replace him with who? Who's out there doing the thing? You ever heard of Keith Ellis, motherfucker? You ever heard of Keith Ellis that got the conviction on Chauvin? Crump ain't did a motherfucking thing. Why is we holding this dude nuts, man? I said it, and I meant what I said. Keith Ellis. Am I right or wrong, y'all?
Well, Keith Ellison did go after charges or for Derek Chauvin, but then the Negro, I don't like Keith Ellison. I'm just keeping it real with y'all.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is, give the credit to the ones that do the work. What's my man name that was in that courtroom with Chauvin, the prosecutor? What's his name?
It was a few of them. I can't remember right off the top of my head the name.
But the brother.
The brother.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of holding that motherfucker, that name, holding his nuts. Get a credit to the people that did the work. Ben Crump ain't did no goddamn work, man. It's easy to cut a side deal, man. But I guess that's what you want to do. I guess that's what we do. We take the crumbs. They say, man, some of y'all up there eating that nigga pie. Y'all quick to eat the crumbs off the nigga pie, man.
You know, because what's that guy, Cormier, or the attorney general in Kentucky? Look at that brother. He's the attorney general, has all the resources, and we still haven't got justice for Breonna Taylor. She got the money, but the woman was murdered and nobody's been held accountable. That's what we're talking about. And we know what civil attorneys do. But what I'm saying is, as a people, we need to crawl before we walk, you know what I mean? And get it in order. We should have attorneys that should do the prosecuting and get us the justice. Then we have the civil attorneys. It shouldn't be the civil attorneys first before everything else.
I tell you what, you can replace them with 5-star. You can replace them with 5-star. And I say that for a reason. 51 more credits. Fuck going for my master's. I'm going straight to law school. You can replace them with a motherfucker that's going to get out there and do the goddamn work. I'm not an ambulance. I do more work than this dude for the hood on a daily basis. I got people call me every single day. And you know what's sad is we applaud and we celebrate the wrong people. They throw a little symbolism out there, make it look good. You feel like today. I'm not knocking the city of Houston, but why the fuck is you in a press conference with 50 Cent in a school district? You ain't even do nothing. You ain't do nothing. They gonna milk the man, have him all over Houston with their silliness because that's what they do, man.
Well, I hope he's smart enough not to fall for that. Yeah, I saw it too, and I was like, okay, this is, clearly a photo op talking about 50 Cent, but yeah, I think really the real issue is, just going back to the shooting, is we have a problem. We as Black people have a problem that we need to solve. That should never be okay on any day of the week for somebody to go up to somebody in cold blood and take their life in front of so many people. Like, we have got to get a hold of that quickly. I mean, we're talking to the point where Gary's saying the whole place just needs to be demolished, because it's like if you demolish the place, then the crime goes away. Like, it has nowhere to live, I guess. But why have we, and we said this the other night, we can't keep blaming white people for the stuff that goes on our watch. I didn't see no white people there. I could be wrong. I don't know. But in that video, I didn't see no white people there. I saw us there standing around watching that man.
We need to understand one thing. In a community like that, it doesn't matter if the victim is white or Black. Let's put that out there. If they poor, they all getting the same treatment. I've seen it. I got a lady in my inbox now. Good white dude got murdered. You see what I'm saying? So, but I'm not speaking for that right now. What I'm speaking on is where you at right now. Is we have a problem. And the biggest problem that we have is we stay trying to cover up for our own fuckery. We know Trump ain't right, but we gonna cover for him. We know killing black people ain't right, but we gonna cover for him. And every time you look up, you want to get out there and you want to march for the white people that's doing shit. Well, guess what? George Floyd, I do a lot of work for Floyd up in Minneapolis, but I am not attending not a motherfucking thing in Houston until y'all start attending some shit for these black people that's dying, man. Can we attend something for little Romeo, little 4-year-old baby that got shot, still dealing with multiple surgeries, 30, 40 surgeries later from an AK-47 over in Scott Plaza? Can we do that? What about the little baby that got murdered down the street from the Fountain of Praise in the back of the car when the mama car got shot up? Say, if we ain't marching for that, I ain't marching for Floyd, and I ain't marching for nothing else. Fuck y'all in the ass, man, when it come down to that. You want to get out there and march? Then do your thing. Black on black crime is my issue right now. And politicians that ain't doing right, I'm going to give your motherfucking ass the business. See, because you done messed up. You made a covenant with God. You told God this morning, I'm going to pray for 5-star. I want him to come out of surgery good. You done fucked up because I'm woke. And I'm going to give your ass the business if you don't start taking care of my black people in my black neighborhood. Edward Powell, you standing up there this morning like you a GQ model? Bitch, they killing motherfucker. They cutting black folk head off in fucking over there in Sharpstown. You got nothing but prostitution over there on Bissonnette. When we gonna address it, man? They ain't gonna never take us seriously as long as we keep giving these motherfuckers passes. No, black on black crime, my thing. Other than that, y'all take the marches. You go get you 5 Klan members. They burn a cross in your motherfucking yard right now. They can shit all over your motherfucking car. They do whatever they want to you. I guarantee you I'm not showing up. If you ain't showing up for black on black, them people can do whatever. They stick that cross dead up your ass and set that bitch on fire. I ain't coming.
Here's my question for Demetra real quick. Now, let me get this straight. Black people overwhelmingly, black women at 93% voted for the Democratic Party and the mass incarceration ticket. Black men voted at about 87% for the mass incarceration ticket, right? Now, the Democrats kept telling us that one of the problems in politics is money in politics. Why aren't they doing something about money in politics? The Democrats have all the votes in regards to getting us to study. We can't even get a study passed in regards to reparations, but we hold all branches of government to make sure that happens. So I'm kind of confused here. If black people overall are Democrats, how come we are getting no legislation on any level of government in our favor, though we overwhelmingly vote for these people to represent us and do for us? What wasn't the black people talking about opposed to the polls? And that was crazy that the Democratic Party used that as and that shows you what the Democratic Party thinks about black women when they have to use that kind of trope to get people to go to the polls. And then you got your AKAs. Skew, we got to vote. Skew, we got to vote. You don't hear these people anymore. So tell me, is something wrong with me in the fact that if black people overall are Democrats, how come nothing is being done for black people? And yet our friends here, and I'm sure these are pretty smart people, are asking the same questions. Like, wait a minute, we keep voting these people, we keep voting, and we're not getting anything.
Well, it's simply said, Malcolm X said that we are political chumps. Remember that? Well, we weren't there, but he said that you keep voting for the lying liberals. You are, we're black people are political chumps, and we are also a traitor to our race. Dr. Umar said that we are political prostitutes, but I disagree with that because at least prostitutes get something for their services, right? We don't get anything for our services, and the Democrats know that. They know that they don't have to deliver anything for black people, and black people will continue to show up. We are that, abused person, you know, that we love our abusers to a fault, and we're hoping they're going to change. They're going to stop abusing us, and we keep showing up. And oh, if I just do it this way, you know, like Ike and Tina, right? I'm just trying to please Ike. That's black people. Black people are Tina, and the Democratic Party is Ike, and we love it, and they know we love it. So as long as we continue to vote and expect nothing, they'll give us nothing. It's really that simple.
You know, because, you know, again, the excuse is, well, he has only been in there 100 days. Now he's been in there over 100 days. And my question is this, okay, for black people, why is it that 100 days is not long enough for him to do anything for us? But in that 100 days, he did LGBTQ, DACA, reversed just about all of Trump's executive orders. He did immigration, and he did Asian anti-hate bill. If anybody needs an anti-hate bill, it's black people. But we are quiet when it comes to these type of situations. And I'm just like, wait a minute. And then when you ask these people, okay, he's only been in 100 days. How many days? How patient should we be? You ask civil rights people, they'll tell you, well, you know, you got to be more patient. They've been waiting for 60 years. So 60 years is still not long enough for them. They want you to wait another 100, 120, maybe. I don't know. So, you know, we have all these politics. We have all these killings going on. We overwhelmingly vote Democrat, but yet we can't get any funding. We can't get anything done in regards to the upcoming homelessness that's going to happen to the black community when this moratorium is over. As they're slowly opening up these states, you guys out there, and you ain't prepared, the black people are going to be the most affected group of people in the United States affected by the moratorium. And yet nobody's talking about this stuff.
Robin Cooper, I guess you were bringing that towards me, that was insulting. No, it wasn't insulting. It was the truth.
No, I think she's talking about. I think she's talking about strolling to the polls and how the Democrats disrespected our black women.
Well, guess what? You don't disrespect yourself as a black woman unless you allow yourself to be disrespected. And a lot of them fell for the symbolism. They got exactly what they paid for, you know, and that's what it is. I mean, far as I'm concerned, where I'm at right now, you getting everything that you pay, that you asked for from these people. You didn't ask for nothing. You ain't getting nothing. They don't care how they treat us. And we were talking about an issue the other day about the issue out in the north side with the thing with Kim Ogg and all that. And a politician, lower level politician, came on and tried to discredit Arbery. Well, like I told him, look, man, you can't expect for a politician, a black politician, to stand up for what's right when they treat us like savages. When the savages start acting like savages and doing what savages do, then they want to blame it on the savages. But you created the environment. These folks is garbage. Y'all need to think about it. Yeah, I'm finna be a politician. No, I'm not. I'm gonna be a public servant. It's a big difference. I don't want to be a politician. Politicians play games. Politicians don't look out for their people. Public servants do. So you need to understand that, my sisters, yeah, you got played like a funky piano. But now the question is, do you stay quiet about it? Or do you just tell the truth and start looking for better representation?
Well, if I know black women, we ain't gonna be wrong for nothing. See, what had happened was, and again, I didn't vote for Joe Biden, I didn't vote for Trump either, but yeah, I mean, I think we like, and I'm saying we as black women, I think we like being likened to the backbone, you know, of the Democratic Party, because somehow we get off on that, knowing that.
And do nothing. Great, women. You guys are doing a great job.
Well, yeah, we get off on that, you know, knowing that it was us You know, it was us that delivered Joe Biden and Kamala to the White House. You know, they couldn't do it without us, but it's like, right. But what did you get? Did you get a free chicken dinner? Did you get something in return? You brag about being the backbone of the Democratic Party, but you didn't do anything for Black people at all. What you did was you were actually the backbone for everybody else. You were the backbone for the Asians, Hispanics, LGBTQ, DACA, everybody else who has gotten some legislation signed. That's who you were actually the backbone for. And how dare you get mad when Black people say, well, you strolled to the polls and you was twerking too, and you didn't get anything for Black people. And you mad because we're asking, well, now what? Since you're the backbone, that means that you are the foundation. So now we're looking to you and saying, now what? Because a lot of you said too, well, we're going to go and hold them accountable once we get them in there. We ain't going to just let them get it. Well, what has it been, like 100 and some days now? And we still have nothing specifically? So what's the next move? Like I said, those Chucks and Pearls were a worthless combination. All you did was make Converse or Nike, because that's who owns it, Richard. And I don't know whose pearls you got, your grandmama's, I don't know. Those are the only people that benefited from it. But we as Black people, and then this is the effed up part. Y'all gonna dust those pearls and Chucks off again in 2024 and do the same old stuff. But you know what? It's really kind of our fault too. The other people who don't want that is because we allow them being the Black women who say they're the backbone, to go and make decisions for us. But they're only really doing it for symbolism. They just want to be known as the ones who live at the White House.
Angela, this will be the only time that I dignify a question from you, because I know how you get on. Show not gonna be about you tonight, baby. My question is to you: what party do you want us to be? I don't give a damn what party you are. I want you to be smart. Just because you're a Democrat don't mean you're smarter than a Republican. And just because you're a Republican don't mean you're smarter than a Democrat. I need you to be intelligent when it's time for you to vote. Trump also, I don't want to hear a motherfucking thing about Trump. We're removed from Trump. We're talking about this sorry ass Joe Biden right now. And the Republican Party is no better. So let me ask you a question. And I'm going to bite on these potatoes like an old ass nigga do. I got my grill, but I'm going to do it like this here right now. We got a problem with crime. Do your Democratic Black leadership have a solution? Or should I go to the white man and ask him, how do you deal with crime in your neighborhood? But I'd be wrong if I do that. But I'm supposed to keep waiting for my leadership to come up with solutions, right? They don't know shit. They don't know a motherfucking thing. I don't want to hear the deflection. Joe Biden is trash. You know it. You were one of the ones out there that had your motherfucking saddle strapped to his dick during election time. And you're still riding him like a motherfucking horse. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. Your man ain't shit, and you ain't shit for fucking with him.
The African Diaspora Channel says you're Black before you're anything else. And that's exactly, it doesn't matter what party you're in. Okay, you could be a Republican, you could be a Democrat. That ain't what we're telling you. We're saying you got to be Black first. And if it's in Black people's interest for us to address the crime issue, we need to address that. If it's in Black issues to address reparations, we need to do that. That's what I'm saying. People keep talking about there's no Black agenda. There is a Black agenda. We just got to pick which one we're going to go with.
Let me ask y'all a question. When a motherfucker pull that semi-automatic on you at the gas station and finna snatch your motherfucking car, bitch, get out this car. Oh, by the way, you a Republican or a Democrat. They don't give a fuck what you is. So I don't give a fuck who you is. Address the problem. They go for Black Republicans. They go for Black Democrats. Address the motherfucking problem, man. I'm serious. Man, I need your wallet, your credit cards. And by the way, motherfucker, can I get your voter registration card too?
You know, and that's a prime example of what we're talking. They don't worry about any of that. Like I said, we got to be black first. And really, as everybody's seeing, in a real democracy, having two parties is totally ridiculous because both of these parties, as we're seeing, uphold white supremacy in the end. It does. So I'm a recovering Democrat. Doesn't mean I'm a Republican. I'm doing something else. Matter of fact, you know what? They can go fight it out. They don't need my vote. But if the Democrats want to win the next election, because I'm going to tell you, if nothing is delivered, and this midterm is going to show us which way the Democratic Party is going to go, a lot of people are going to be leaving the Democratic Party in droves. And we're talking about millennials, all kinds of people are going to be leaving. And so, hey, they can have it at this point. They can have it.
Well, Alan Guillory said, I'm a registered CHL owner when I bust back. Well, when you busting back, they already bust back at the Texas State Capitol. You don't need a CHL no more in the state of Texas. Everybody and mama finna pack guns, man. Keep talking. Your Democrats ain't been doing shit. They let some of the hardest bills in America get through that state legislation this year. Yeah, but I tell you what they did do. They designated, Dimitri, you're gonna love this, is a hell of a bill. A hell of a situation. They did make Missouri City, Texas, the hip-hop capital of Texas. They did get that done.
I think I was in Missouri, Texas, not too long ago, and
Missouri City.
I didn't get that impression for some reason. I don't.
Little Nas X, you didn't get the rapping Duke, any of that stuff?
I didn't get that impression. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But I just want to ask Angela, what are most of these cities in that have all this high crime rate? Are they ran by Democrats? Are they ran by Republicans? Because, you know, you keep wanting to give the Democrats a pass for everything. And as far as I know, a lot of our neighborhoods are Democratic, you know, as far as the way we vote and who represents us. And so, like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that? You rarely hear these things, you know, from the Republican neighborhoods. And I'm not big up in the Republicans, but I'm saying a lot of our neighborhoods are ran by Black Democratic politicians. And the neighborhoods, I mean, you got murders to where people go in people's doorways and just blowing them away. Why aren't we hearing more about that?
And nothing said by the politician that controls that area. Nothing said.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And so, I mean, do you just want to big up the Democrats just because? I mean, like, is there a specific reason? I'm really trying to understand what you're saying, because I'm not saying that Trump was a good dude, but I mean, you saying Trump is all bad and the Democrats are good, but like we don't see that line up pretty much. So I guess I'm just trying to understand why she is so in love with a party who is not in love with her.
She can't call a spade a spade. She can't hold a truthful conversation. Now, since she didn't answer you, okay, you're gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing. I'm not give no one a pass. They all know, man, look, man, just shut the fuck up. I'm just serious, man. You are the Negro that was sitting in the back of the bus when Rosa got on the bus. You was in the back. And you was back there, and she sat down in the front. Oh, here this nigga go. You was the one in the back of the bus, man. You was the one in the back of the bus. When they boycotted the bus lines and all that, you was standing at the bus stop. Y'all some ignorant motherfuckers. Instead of getting on the bus waving at the people. You was the one. Let me tell you who you is. When they killed King, you was outside the church with a motherfucking bullhorn. It's by time they got rid of that nigga. You the problem. You the problem. And that's what that causes the division amongst us. You're the problem. Yeah, you're not Angela. You're Auntie Ruckus. That's your name now. Angela Ruckus.
Angela, I don't know why you do it to yourself. But you say we keep on hopping on the same thing. So you just think that once Joe Biden and Kamala got in there, that we should have never spoke about it again? We should just ignore what you guys voted for or didn't vote for? We should just gloss over the fact that they went to the White House and got everything or things for everybody else but us? We should just be quiet? I mean, is that I'm asking, like, do you just tell us, should we never mention it again? Or do you consider Trump being out of the White House and Biden being in there, do you think that's the ultimate progress? Like, I'm confused at this
she
point.
won't tell the truth about what you're saying. You broke it down. You've done things individually for LGBTQ. You've done things for the Hispanics. You've done things for everybody except for just black people. She won't even hold a dignified conversation and tell the truth. She won't even admit that. Auntie Ruckus, sit your ass down. Rosa Parks wasn't the problem. It was you niggas on the back of the bus that was the problem.
You know, and that's the thing. I think that's been a problem for us for the last 60 years. We think because there's a black face in there or there's a Democrat in there, life is great. Remember, Joe Biden's going to come in there and we just want Trump out and then life's going to be good because, you know, even though Joe, best friend, his own words, was a Dixiecrat named Strom Thurmond, and he was mentored by a James Eastland, a known Ku Klux Klan member. This man is just going to change his spots overnight, and he's going to save black people. And yet, in 100 days, he did all of that in 100 days. And then when it comes to black people, I got to do an infrastructure bill. I got to do this. Nancy Pelosi, we're going to worry about Marjorie Taylor Greene because she went up to AOC, and we got to investigate that. Come on, y'all. Come on. I mean, come on, y'all. I
just need to whoop her ass and just be over with, okay? Like, I'm like, why does she keep letting this lady run up on her? I'd have beat the brakes off of that lady.
But you know what I mean?
Angela says, okay to talk about it. Stop looking for reparations. You're not getting it. So let me get this straight. And I want everybody to know this. I appreciate y'all donating to my campaign. But that post I put up yesterday with that white goddamn Phantom Rolls Royce, that ain't got nothing to do with your campaign money. That's strictly me. So, baby, while you sitting around thinking the motherfucker around there begging the government, I don't have to beg the government. I definitely don't strap no motherfucking saddle up on them and ride their dick the way you do. You can't hold a respectable conversation. You can't admit that you fucked up. Nothing. So it's all about you. Now, we did agree to something, and I am going to make your fucking dream come true tonight. I've said it 1,000 times, but now tonight, I'm tired of you. This is your last show forever. And don't think that you can go around me and get back on, because I'm not going to let you. Ain't nobody saying it's got to be our way. We're asking a question. You can't answer the question. Who the fuck talking about reparations? You need to go sit your $5 ass down, because I think it's you that need the money more than 5-star. When I can pay what I'm paying for a Phantom for one day, you don't want to talk to me about no motherfucking money. You don't want to talk to me about no money. Go get your motherfucking mind right. Stealing motherfucking quarters out your goddamn granddaughter's piggy bank.
You know, but, you know, she talked about reparations. Since she brought up reparations, we got to stop talking about it. Reparations, you're not getting it. Well, who are you to say that? Are you an elected official? So when women say, I want child support, men should just say, well, you ain't going to get it. A lot of us say that, and we end up coming out of pocket, right? Doesn't mean that because we're not getting it now, doesn't mean we're not going to get it later. You know what I mean? And this is the problem. Because the civil rights era people dropped the baton, we have to fight racial discrimination now. The people that we're fighting, that all this racial discrimination that's going on and the killing of black people, that has to deal with these liberals of the 60s children.
But Demetri,
and I'm not going to sit here and wait.
You said it earlier. Why can't we get anything done and we got all these votes? It's people like Angela that if we went to the reparation side and they brought it to the floor, you're going to find some politicians that feel like Angela, that are going to be black. They don't want to expose them. They don't want to show that they hand on that. And of course, you're going to have the white ones who don't want us to have it on the Democratic side. The Republicans going to be sitting back like this here. We're just going to watch them implode. They ain't got to touch it. So it's people like Angela is the reason we can't get shit done. Because we got these people, type of Negroes that's representing us.
Speaking of which, let's switch it up a little bit before we get out of here. Just kind of want to lighten it up. I want you guys' opinion on this. Gary, don't get too excited, okay? You guys may or may not have heard Gary Owens is getting a divorce. And his wife is asking for $44,000 a month in spousal/child support. She's saying because that's what he would deposit in her bank account on a regular basis for bills and just, you know, her personal upkeep and things like that. And so Ari Spears, a comedian, he had something to say. He basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, she needs to get used to going from lobster to fish sticks or something like that. A lot of people think that's excessive to be asking for that kind of money. Now, it should be said, too, that Gary Owens allegedly, from what she said, cheated on her. And so what's your guys' opinion on that? Does he owe her the money every month or not?
Yeah, he owes it to her. He owes it to her. And whatever spouses, with everything that she's supposed to get, she's supposed to get. When you go off and marry these people in certain states, under certain laws, you live by. I'm sorry. You get divorced in am I right, in the state of California? Am I right? It's a community property state.
Yep.
You knew what you would
half
get.
of everything. And a no-fault state, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So if that's what he was depositing, see, this is how she's gonna win. All she has to do is prove this is the amount of money that it took for me to run this household. This is what he deposited in my account every month. So her standard of living should not be lowered because they are separating. He owes it to her, give it to her.
Yep, and that's what it's going to come down to. Once you maintain, and she can show that for, let's say I don't know how long they were married, but let's say for the last 6 years, she's used to a certain lifestyle with the children. The children is the biggest thing right there. They have to maintain that lifestyle. That's why you're like, it doesn't matter. In California, it is very rare for the child support system, if you're an entertainer or somebody that makes that kind of means of money, that the child support gets lowered. It's very rare. It's very rare because you have to maintain that lifestyle that the kids and the wife is accustomed to.
Well, and also they were married for 17 years. She said they've been together for 23, and she helped him, you know, get on his feet when she was working and he didn't have a job or, you know, any of that stuff. And so she quit her accounting management position to stay home and take care of the kids and all of that. And so she gave up a lucrative career to be a housewife. And, you know, so she wants him to maintain her standard of living. So this is not a woman that he just met. They've been together, you know, almost 25 years. And so I think she deserves that and much more, you know, especially if your marriage is ending due to no fault of your own. I'd be different if she was tricking off or, you know, she left the marriage, but she discovered he was cheating on her. So, you know, y'all know what they say. It's cheaper to keep her. You out there tricking off, and then all of a sudden she want to dig in your pockets. And I think we need to get this straight too. That's not just his money. They were together that long. That's their money. Same way if she was an entertainer making money, she says that he would bring in between $100,000 to $400,000 a month. So that's not a whole lot of money, right? So I just think those are some of the things people should think about before you go off and, you know, ruin your relationship. I mean, some money gonna, you know, depart from you as well.
I always think it's crazy when you see these entertainers or people that get married in these community property states. Like I said, here in California, she could be totally wrong and cheated on him. But here it doesn't matter because it's a no-fault state. It doesn't matter.
They're in Cincinnati, so I don't know what the laws are.
Yeah, but that's my thing. It's like, you're with this woman for 17 years. You're not getting out of that, dog. You're not getting out of that. And I look at all these brothers, especially these young brothers that have 2, 3 different women, taking care of one, but got the other 2 with kids and stuff. I'm thinking, one female will break you. One. These guys got 2 and 3.
What did Ari Spears say about Dr. Dre's wife? Did he have that same energy when she was asking for like $2 million a month? You see what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant was smart. He figured it out when he got caught up. It would have cost him more money if he'd let Vanessa go. Let me say this here, and I'm not saying this for no other reason. When we broken on our ass, and we want these women to believe in us, and look, baby, I know I'm on fries, but I'm gonna be the manager one day. And she ride it out with me. When it don't work out, motherfucker, don't forget that. She stuck her neck out. She went the whole 9 with you. And it's time for you to respect what she does as a person that runs the household. Just because you out making money, you don't run the household. She's a domestic engineer. She runs the household. And that's why a lot of these successful women that have gone through bad relationships and divorces, that's why they not fucking with y'all, dog. They not fucking with y'all, man. Look, I done built this one nigga. He done bail out and done fucked them. I'm not going through that no more. Y'all trying to use people too much, man. If she was there, and this just for me to whatever, and all this about he white, she black. No, it ain't got nothing to do with it. I feel the same way that I feel. I mean, when Dre and his wife went through it, I mean, shit, split it down the middle. That's the way it's set up. You married them under them conditions unless you had a prenup. You see what I'm saying? But $44,000, if that's what he was putting in there, she gonna win that argument in the court of law.
I mean, I also think it's jacked up that people speak on other people's situation like that. I mean, for whatever reason, that was his wife, and for people to, call her a gold digger and all of that, is like, so y'all just think, and I'm speaking in general, that the woman should leave the marriage with nothing? Like, she was there. Gary wouldn't be who he is without his wife. Hell, most of the jokes he told was about her. So, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't be as far as he is if it was not for his wife. But I just don't understand the ideology of she should be penniless, or she should have to get a job. She didn't have no job when they was together. Why does she need a job now? I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me. That to me is hateful.
The Afro Diaspora Network says, Demetria, talk about the Hold the Vote Until campaign that you were talking about on Sundays.
Well, hold the vote until means hold the vote until we get something. And I think that we should continue talking that now, and don't wait until, the election year. I think we should keep spreading the message now that it's early, and talk to as many people as we can and say we need to, as Black people, hold the vote until we get something for it. Stop throwing our vote away to get nothing. I mean, if this is not a prime example of what we're going through with the Biden administration, I really don't know what is. I mean, damn. And I get tired of a Negro talking about, well, he's only been in office for 100 and however many days is in there now. It's like, that's not an excuse, because the flip side could be, well, he was in office a day or 2 or 3 before everybody else got something. So why do we need to, wait it out until the very end to see if we gonna get something? So we need to hold our vote until we actually know we're going to get something for it.
And then by doing something like that, you would think that this would make these candidates and people fearful of our vote, because again, we're the deciding factor in any election.
I'm gonna put this up. That's what you get for sleeping with the enemy. I consider that a racist comment. I consider that a very racist comment. So am I gonna go to war for Gary Owens and he's a white guy? Gary Owens is more blacker than you. But your comment is a prime example of what's wrong. Your level of intelligence is through the floor. I think that, and I mean, you talking about she should have kept her money in a secret account, and yeah. Matter of fact, she should have just put it in her titty. You know how you old hoes do. Put it in your titty. Say, man. Say, man. Is that good dope I'm on tonight, man? Is that good dope? I think it's a very racist comment. And I'm gonna take care of folk. I'm gonna take care of it. I don't like that.
Well, before you delete her. I mean, you say that's what you get for sleeping with the enemy. I mean, that's a black woman you wishing ill on. I don't care if she was a green woman. That woman gave most of her life to be in a relationship with that man, helping him be who he is and raise their children. They have children together. Okay, now it's their children biologically together, and you're saying that's what you get for sleeping with the enemy? You better be careful what you wish on other people, because you never know when it's going to come visit you. I mean, that's why I said I just think people who wish her, or we're talking about her specifically, but wish her ill, I think you're evil, because you wouldn't want nobody to say you don't deserve anything. You've been with a man 25 years and you should walk away with nothing. Why? So he can go trick it off on other women who didn't even do 1/10 of the things that she's done for him. And we only hear what happened now. You don't know what that woman has been through with him. And so you think that's what she gets? Man, you better be careful.
And the funny thing is, you don't see her saying that about Steve Harvey and how he treated his ex-wives. And, nobody says anything about a situation like that. He dogged that woman, took properties from her. She lived in a car with that man, and yet nobody came to her defense.
There's several celebrities and sports figures that have just done their wives the most. Dwayne Wade, with what he did to his ex-wife. With Gabrielle Union, Alicia Keys was dirty. You see what I'm saying? Say, man, I mean, if we gonna sit here and have a good conversation, let it have some merit to it. But I can see no matter what we talk about, Angela has to be on the other side because she thinks that's gonna get us some airtime. So I want you to enjoy it tonight because it's done. You don't have an intelligent bone in your body, and I just think that at the end of the day, what you said was very, very racist, and it's not right. It's just not right. And when y'all talk about white people, we talk about black people and we talk about white people. We talk about Latinos. But at the end of the day, there's some substance behind what we're saying. You just throwing out random comments. And you think that shit is cool, and you think you're going to keep coming on here every night with your ignorant shit. But what I'm finna do the world a favor. Whatever city you in, I'm finna send your good ignorant ass back to the whole track. I'm finna send you back to the track.
And you hit the nail on the head. We don't just be sitting up talking about white people like, let's talk about white people. No, that's not even the way it is. And I think we're equal opportunity here. We're discussing. We're discussing a lot of stuff here, but yeah, I think it's evil. And the pioneer, you said, while we're holding our vote to demand what we want, we also need to focus on building what we want in the event the politicians don't deliver. If you don't expect anything, you aren't disappointed. Well, you know what? I say bullshit. I think that's bullshit. I think we need to stop.
Me too.
I think we need to stop telling each other, black people, that nonsense, because everybody else don't tell each other that, well, you know what, fellow Asians, if they don't deliver none. No, they expect something. I expect, it's like when I walk my black ass into the store to buy something, I expect to walk out of there with it. Otherwise, you're not getting my money. A vote is the same way. Like, stop selling the nonsense to each other. Well, we have been demanding something. It's people, and I don't know how you voted, but it's a lot of people who are comfortable with just symbolism, going in there and voting for a party that has never delivered anything for you. So stop telling other black people well, if you don't get some, well, then it's okay. But, no, we should expect to get something for our vote. Otherwise, we don't vote. And this is not an original thought. Malcolm X said it. Dr. Claude Anderson has said it. Like a lot of other people have said this. And y'all act like y'all brand new to this. It's like, this is not algebra. This is simple.
Pioneer, let me just say this. Are you aware that illegal people that are not supposed to be in this country got something? They got something. So you mean to tell me I am, as a so-called citizen of the United States, I am less than a person who wasn't born here, who broke the laws to get here? They got more legislation. No, I just can't roll with that, dog. We got to get what we got to get, and we expect to get it. It's a transaction. I give you my vote. You run my legislation, and I'll give you my vote. That's how it's supposed to work. But I just don't understand how people could be okay with people who are here illegally. I understand you're a dreamer and you were brought here by your parents who broke the law, but go to another country and see what happens if you're in that country illegally. You get no services, you get nothing, zero. And then when they finally catch you, you're out of there quickly.
Well, I'm gonna say this here, man, that I agree with Demetra on the pioneer quote. And while we're holding our vote to demand what we want, we also need to focus on building what we want in the event the politicians don't deliver. Say, man, can you name me a race of people that politicians go to at the last minute in crunch time when they need a vote? When they know they can't win the election no kind of fucking way, no matter what election it may be. What person is that? You can't win a seat on the Democratic side without the black vote. You can win a seat without the white vote. You can win a seat without the Asian vote, but you cannot win a seat without a black vote. So I don't need a plan B. Motherfucker, this is my plan A. This is what I want for my vote. And when the James Clyburns and these type of people pop up, now you go sit your old Negro spiritual ass down. We ain't doing this your way, homeboy. We ain't got, and I would look Clyburn in his face and honestly tell him that we ain't got nothing for 60 years. But your old ass sitting fat. You got yours. You want to control this shit so you can keep sitting fat and we don't get shit out the deal. No. We need to get rid of these Clyburns and all these people, man. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we need to know what we want for our votes. This is why they didn't want to talk to Cube. This is why they had to discredit Cube. This is why they wanted them to look fucked up, because that's exactly what Cube was saying. You ain't getting no vote until you give us something for it.
I want to address to Jerry. She had a comment, or he or she had a comment. The Democrats will not be courting black people heavily, if at all real soon. They have other groups they need and want to serve. That's true. But in order to win an election, they need the black vote. You want to know why? We are the only group that overwhelmingly votes Democratic. The Hispanic vote, Hispanics voted for Joe Biden by 46%. 46% of Hispanics voted for the Democratic Party. Asians, I think it was like 38% of the Asians voted for the Democratic Party. White folks are 50-50. So the only group that basically votes unilaterally Democrat is black. They cannot afford to lose the black vote majority-wise. And this is going to be the problem. We are the determining factor in elections. Malcolm X said that in the 60s. It is still true today. We are the only group that votes like we're a monolith. And that's why they keep taking our vote for granted. That's why the Congressional Black Talkers, how can 58 people who are supposed to be for black people vote an Asian hate bill, knowing that black people need a hate bill of anybody? They should have said, you know what, if you want this bill to pass, we need a black anti-hate bill.
Well, let me ask this here. I see his other comment. I don't expect no good racist in power to treat me properly. I don't even want to read the rest. So in this politic game, a racist motherfucker is the one that shits on the black people, right? That makes sure they don't get shit, right? Keep your community oppressed, right? So which races are you talking about? You talking about the white one that ain't got shit to do with your party? Or you talking about the black ones that represent you? Which ones you talking about? Because if we gonna talk about racism, let's call a spade a spade. I see more black racism on the political level in the Democratic side than I've ever seen on the other side. And that's because I got my eyes open. I'm not just looking on the Republican side and supporting bullshit. I'm not doing that, but I am keeping my eyes on them. But I'm watching these folk here who say they have my best interest at heart. That's sort of like your mama. You know you're going to fuck up. You can always run to mama. You know, but then when you run to mama, she on the cool telling you real low, you better get your motherfucking ass out there. I ain't got shit to do with this shit. That's how I feel about them people. So which races are you talking about, man? Because Al know, Demetra just getting him. These been black people running our neighborhoods. The ones that ain't got no grocery stores. You know, how you build a brand new HEB on McGregor in 288? You got 8 motherfucking motorized carts out there. It ain't nowhere to park. You got all this diversity, right? You forcing people to come from a whole nother neighborhood to shop at this place. You ain't got nowhere to park. But hold on. I go there the other day. I'm like, man, I'm so sick of this shit. Turn that car out that driveway. Did not get out of it. And drove all the way over to Bel Air, where they have an upstairs and a downstairs parking garage. Walked into the store, HEB, in the middle of the day in the white neighborhood. 20 carts lined up against the wall. Then I looked, I say, damn, I ain't never seen this in the black stores in the black neighborhood. Every motherfucking cash register open. And there's 12 people in the store. Say, man, it's our people that's the racist, and you don't want to admit it. But I'm cool with that. And I'm not talking about anybody specifically. We have a problem identifying racism in our neighborhood because we got blinders on when it's coming from our own people.
I had the privilege of driving up and down Scott Street this weekend. And I was like,
now, where did you drive from? Did you come off of 45?
I believe so. Yeah.
And you passed the University of Houston and
all the way down.
Okay. What you just drove on is considered the Scott Street corridor. That's the one me and Dr. Muhammad talk about. One of the most dangerous fucking corridors in the country. Finish telling us about your ride. Hopefully Alan busts his tires or have to get a motherfucking alignment.
Yeah, it was a rough ride. There's a couple lanes, you know, we had to keep switching lanes, but I was like, I mean, it was our neighborhood, to say the least. You know, most of the houses had bars on the windows, because, you know, I keep telling Al, I want to buy a house where our people live. He's like, we're not buying no house over here.
Okay, so when you went down Scott, you remember when you got to the bayou? You remember the bayou that you got to?
Yes.
Okay. When you cross that bayou, that first house on the corner is State Senator Boris Miles' house, the big mansion.
I thought, yeah, we saw that. We saw that.
So how do you put these type of houses in between a fucking war zone?
You know what's funny, Gary? Because I was like, what's going on here?
Those are the professional Negroes on McGregor that I've been telling you about. Those are the ones who feel they can tell everybody in our community what's good for us. These are the ones that have sold out to the developers and helped gentrification get along.
But why would you want to build a nice house in the middle of a neighborhood like that where there's garbage everywhere? I mean, there's bars all on that. It's just, and there was no grocery stores over there.
The city runs on a 20-year plan. They already know what they're going to do. It ain't the fact that they building it amongst the crime and that element. They done already sold the neighborhood out. So their type of neighborhood is going to start stretching because they sit in the middle. It's just going to stretch on both sides of Sky Street, and it's just going to gentrify and take it over.
Turn
that street into what they live, and they're going to push everybody out.
And probably eminent domain, a lot of those people who had been there forever. Yeah, I thought, and Gary, and I mentioned it to Al, I said, this is very strange. Like, you got some nice houses amongst some of the houses that had obviously been there for a while. And I remember you said that he did live over there on the corner. So we did see that house. But again, so I don't know if Angela's still watching. You know, that's what your Democratic leadership, you know, that's what you're getting. Yeah, and I'm new here. Now, I know I've seen that stuff in, you know, California too, but it's like, this is awful. And I feel bad for the people who live there. I feel bad for them because you guys keep voting for, you know, the misleadership in this, and they don't care. They like, wow. It was just crazy.
Part, if you keep going down Scott, you're less than 2 miles away from where the young man got killed in South Lawn. So how are you sitting on this block as a state senator allowing this to go on in this community? But yet when somebody wanted to open a goddamn strip club, y'all put signs all up and down the street. Oh, we don't want this here. And you killed that. But you won't do nothing about the crime because the crime helps you accomplish the goal. You see what I'm saying? Like the address sitting over there on goddamn OST and 288. How in the fuck 2 years ago, 3 years ago, how the address was open, ain't had no permits, Floyd Mayweather there, ain't have a lick of permits, wasn't even through building in the middle of a fucking ice storm. These people allow what they want to allow. And I am a problem for them in the city of Houston. And the more you hang out with me on this fucking war zone, Dimitri, and you in Houston, you a problem for them. Now, they're going to come to you with the bag. And when they come with the bag, baby, they not coming with a couple of dollars. You got to make that decision. But you know what? Me, you could take that bag and stick it square up your behind because I'm not selling out my community because I see what they doing. See, on that strip there, that's where the Sheila Jackson Lees live. It's a totally different environment than if you just come right back across that bridge 1 block. War zone. Why you go buy a house in that community? Unless 30 years from now, that community ain't going to be there.
I noticed that too. I was like, you know, you're driving and all of a sudden the neighborhood is nice. I'm like, damn. And it's crazy. But yeah, I know. Well, another thing I noticed too is that we call it monorail or you know, like the rail system right in the middle of the neighborhood. Like you can't turn, you got to go all the way around and U-turn. They got that big, what is it? The line, the train line going right smack dab in the middle down the street. I'm like, only in our neighborhoods do we get that bullshit. It's convenient, but it's not convenient.
So who's the real enemy?
Angela, we need you to answer that question.
Who's the real enemy? Because I'm seeing on here people saying wealthy Caucasians were and are bringing illegal immigrants into the nation by the million. Joe Biden letting these immigrants in here. What wealthy Caucasian? Y'all said Trump was a fucking fool for trying to build a wall. But see, y'all don't even say nothing. You got 1,200. These people got 15 grand. Donovan, am I wrong?
You're not
1,200
wrong.
is what you got. They got 15,000.
$15,000.
Why you think they ain't out here doing no goddamn fake PPE loans? They getting paid.
And they couldn't have got that money, real quick, they couldn't have got that money without the congressional black talkers voting on it.
And it was 15,600 to be exact. And you know, like Gary said, but y'all want to talk about people getting PPP loans, but y'all ain't saying nothing about, you know, the immigrants coming over here and, you know, because they were affected by the pandemic, but, you know, they could have stayed at home and been affected by it and let they people foot the bill, you know. But even now in Texas, I don't know if you guys know, the governor said they ended the unemployment extension here as well. It said at the end of June, I think, or in June, they get rid of the unemployment extension. And so it's just that predominantly hurts Black people because Black people predominantly make up the service industry. They want y'all to go back to work. Y'all hating on people because they get PPP loans, talking about oh, they was fraud in the system and all of that. But you was quiet as a church house mouse when it came to the immigrants getting all that money and everybody else getting something. But y'all want to have Black people to have hard times, but not mad at everybody else. So as long as you see our neighborhoods looking like that, and you ask, well, who's over those neighborhoods? And if it's our representation, our supposed representation, then I mean, why we keep blaming white people for? And I'm not saying white people aren't at fault for, you know, a lot of things, but, you know, a lot of it is our fault as well. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, the good things come to those who wait. Angela say, this is my last night watching this show. Y'all take the joy out of folks always bashing people. If you're not happy, do something about it. I'm blocking y'all tonight. Is your blocker not working? What's wrong with your blocker? Block these nuts in your mouth on the way out the door too. That's what you need to do.
Well, Angela, we're gonna miss you. I mean, I don't know. Something tells me you'll be back. You know, you can't deal without us.
Remember, she said she makes this show, so you know she'll be back. She'll be back.
We'll see. I think she'll peep in on us from time to time. She may not say nothing, but she'll be there. We can feel you watching. You know, like Rockwell.
Yeah, well, Auntie Ruckus, you know, I mean, when you're getting your dollars from that good white man to disrupt Black people in an intelligent conversation, you know, it's how you gonna go to Master and talk about you blocked us when that's your job to be disruptive and to stop intelligent Black conversation.
Pioneer, hold on. I want to read this. He say it's the Republicans who are the ones predominantly pushing for benefits to be dropped and go back to work, not giving a damn about health and safety. Neither party has clean. I like talking to you, but you're going to tell the truth. This ain't about no goddamn health and safety. This is about Negroes getting more money from unemployment than they fucking getting going back to work. The Republicans want their businesses back open. They want the economy back open. And Black folks is like, fuck you, I'm getting more money through the mail than I got waiting on your check every week. Let's just tell the truth. So what do you expect for them to do? These people that are big time business owners, and I mean, we bitching and complaining about the McDonald's, but you're running your ass up in them Rockets games now. You're running up in them football games now. 60, 70,000 deep. Okay, if we can do all that, open the damn country. I'm sorry, but open the country. All this, man, I'm in the hospital right now. I wish a motherfucker would come in here talking about a vaccine. Say, man, I'm just telling you. You can't be mad at the other side because they forced their people to do what they voted them in to do. It's your side that you can't get any movement on. You don't know how to deal with your Democratic leaders when they don't do the work. The Republicans tell you this is what we want. And if you don't go get it, you coming up out them seats. And they mean that. So I don't think the Republicans are pushing for benefits to be, but fuck a benefit. Man, on the real, man, I'm tired paying for these people to sit at home. Man, you know how they gotta get out here and hustle back. Where Al at? They gotta get out here and hustle backpacks and give away free clothes and all this shit. And then prom time come, these motherfuckers in Phantoms and Ferraris and all kinds of shit. But you ain't had no money to get them backpacks at the beginning of the year, huh? Say, man, it's all a game, bro.
And you know what's funny about that too, 5-star? This is the young people thinking and saying, I make more money sitting at home or doing, they're adding up the numbers saying, no, we ain't doing that because it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. DJ Quick. That's the young people. If this was an older generation, and I'm not generalizing, but the older generation would be like, well, let's get along just to get along. Massa want me to go ahead and get back to my job because they've been conditioned to think I have to work for somebody. These young people ain't with that shit, man. They gonna get their hustle on and get their thing on and go. It's as simple as that. They figured out I could make just as much money doing what I do, getting my hustle right here, raising my kids in my home or whatever, homeschooling, whatever I gotta do, rather than go get a fucking job and work for somebody. So big ups to the young people out there that have figured this fucking game out. Let that man bust his own goddamn tables and serve his own goddamn self. Fuck you.
Ooh, I almost threw up a double bird on that one, but you're my lady. I ain't gonna do that. But yes, I absolutely agree. Let the owner of Taco Bell, Burger King, or whatever it is, get his family members together and go bust those tables. Because that's what it's about. Like, we mad at the minimum wage worker who gets to sit home now after, I don't know how long they've been going to work. I'm going to work for minimum wage. And I know a lot of people say, because I actually called in on Thaddeus Matthews. He didn't know it was me the other night when he was talking about, I'm glad they taking the money away from them. They lazy, they this, they that, they this. And I'm like, man, minimum wage in a lot of places is $7.25. He's like, well, they need to be starting their own business. And I'm like, well, then who gonna serve you when you go to Houston's, this restaurant you always talk about? Somebody's got to do the job. And so to be mad at somebody because they getting a little bit more money than they've been getting, maybe they're able to catch up on their bills now. Maybe they're able to get a good night's sleep because they don't have to worry about going to 2 and 3 jobs. Man, let them get that money. And I think we also understand that unemployment is something you pay into. Now, the $300 extra part of it, yeah, that's part of the stimulus, but they're getting that stimulus because there was a pandemic that was no fault of their own. And so Donovan said it a minute ago, there's a lot of people who are going to be facing homelessness, and it's not their fault. Some people, yeah, but a lot of people, it's not their fault. And so I just can't be mad at people because I worked minimum wage when I was in high school. I didn't have no bills or nothing, but I couldn't imagine doing that as an adult. And people say, well, that's a teenage job. And I heard, the governor them talking about, oh, well, it's not just fast food jobs. There's, entry level that's making above $15. Like, stop lying, okay? If all those good jobs were available, they wouldn't be available. It's like, don't lie to kick it. It is those low level paying jobs and minimum wage jobs. That's what you want people to give up all that money for to go to work. But if I was Joe Biden and them, but I think they in on a fix too. If I was them, I would just run the money straight to their bank accounts. I would supersede the governors at the state level and say, okay, y'all want to play dirty? We just going to give the money directly to the people. And then y'all can figure out what y'all need to do since y'all want to open up all these states in the midst of a pandemic.
Well, I'm just saying, man, I was watching Chris Arderwin this morning on his way back from Houston to Lake Charles. Chris Arderwin, if you know who he is, big Zydeco star. I guess they down here almost every weekend. The festival's off the chain. 9,000-10,000 people in the venue. Football season finna pop off. If we can do all that, I don't care. You figure out how you can get your money, but I can guarantee you're going back to work. Now, what you need to do is figure out how to get your money out to these people before you do go back to work at $7.25 hours. But you're going back. You ain't gonna have no choice. See, we didn't think about none of that. You had them, but you didn't think about how to strong arm your change up out of them. Well, you're running out of time because Greg Abbott done put the twist in the game. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know, everybody talk about Abbott and Abbott this, Abbott that. There's some Republican heavyweights that ain't cool with Abbott. They don't like him either. They don't like Dan Patrick either. So stop thinking that people don't see what you see. Because when I remember correctly, when the freeze came through, it didn't ask you what side of the ball you was on, Republican or Democrat. So it was some Republicans freezing just like some Democrats freezing.
You know, as we get ready to wrap this up, I guess Lake Charles is going through another flooding session down there. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, the rain is pretty bad here.
You spit on the ground down there and it flood. But here's my problem with that. I feel for them. Why do y'all keep going back, man? Sooner or later, you got to. Maybe we shouldn't be here. This is happening almost every single year. You know, I can only come up with that GoFundMe money, you know, so many times, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I just think the politics is a dirty game, you know, and they doing that to the American people, you know. And they don't talk about the people too who are going to be forced to go back to work. Who, you know, the schools, a lot of schools still aren't open. These people don't know how they're going to pay, or, you know, for childcare and all of that. But these bastards want people just to go back to work because they want to get out there and have a good time. Get ready for the world to open up. But it's always at the expense of the poor people. Not even just black people, but poor people. Because at the top of this is capitalism. And capitalism is our biggest problem. Racism and everything else is just, you know, a subsidiary of capitalism. So, you know, it's just a whole bunch of old white dudes sitting in a position of power that will never be in a position they want to put everybody else in. You know, and I just really, I don't know. I just can't go along with that at all. Now, I work from home. So, you know, there, but for the grace of God, there go I. That I am not having to choose between finding something else to do or being forced to go back to work. But I will say this, you know, if that is you, figure out a way to stay home. Figure out a way to make your coin so you don't have to be forced back in there, you know, to deal. Because you know who you're going to be dealing with. You're going to be dealing with them crazy mofos who, I don't got to wear a mask. I know y'all saw Ricky Schroeder on TV. He trying to go up in Costco without a mask on because he on the governor and all these people say I don't have to wear a mask. Those are the people y'all don't have to deal with. So figure out a way not to have to go back.
Yeah, that's another way to catch a case in some situations. So some of y'all going to be looking at some cases because you're going to have to like start popping people in the head and all this other stuff because they're getting crazy. But, you know, the sad thing about it, and, you know, and this is my closing remark. The sad thing about it is you got these white people in a position of power that are thinking about all this shit to do to poor people and people just in general. And the sad thing is you got those black butter biscuit eating folks like Angela and all these other people that just do exactly what they're told just so they could be accepted or they think they're accepted by white folks. And in Nazi Germany, it was said when they came for the gypsies, I didn't say nothing. When they came for the blacks, I didn't say nothing. When they came for the Protestants, I didn't say nothing. When they came for the Jews, I didn't say nothing. When they came for me, there was nobody left to say anything.
I'm gonna end you with this here, man. I said it before on this show, and I mean what I say. Everybody seems to have a solution to the problem, but ain't nobody doing shit. I'm like Dimitri, I work for myself. I don't have to go through all that. And those that choose to continue to deal with that, then you deal with it. I want to remind you that on the 12th of June, you get to come out and hang out with me, 3650 Alabama. Shoot video, me and K Reno for the new song, Make 'Em Mad. And on that day, I just asked somebody, I said, man, should I go over the top? Now, y'all that don't know me, you just know me from the War Zone. My name was Mr. VIP. Mr. 2 Bottles of Rock, Mr. Drop 'em a Thief. Mr. I don't give a fuck, Mr. Pop 'em a Tag. And I'm quicker to pop a model when I'm out for some ass. Real talk, motherfucker, I'm a go-getter. And if your gal drop it low, then you know that I'm a show hitter. Should I go over the top of my video? They like, look, man, you only live once. Let them inside your world. The world they don't never get to see. They only get to see you act a fool on Facebook and cuss people out. But let them inside of your world for one day of how you do what you do when you're not around them. Now, you ain't got to worry about me doing me because I do me better than anybody in the country. I'm a poor kid from Third Ward, Texas that done ate every way he wanted to eat. I done shopped in any shop I ever wanted to shop in. I didn't believe I could buy real Gucci until I was on Rodeo Drive. I didn't want to buy nothing unless it came out the real store. So on June 12th, I'm going to take the panties off of 5 Star. And I'm going to be me for one day. If you want to see, then it is what it is. Come hang out with me. You thought I put that Phantom up there for no reason? Nah, shit, when I ain't got nothing to do, that's how I ride down Crenshaw Boulevard. That's how I ride down there because I'm only going to live once. So thank y'all for taking the time out to listen to me. As far as voting and voting for me, I appreciate it. If you donated to the campaign, thank you. We got some work to do. Next week, the Houston Independent School District should be picking a superintendent. This is going to be laughable from what I can hear. You got rid of the high-powered black woman to pick what I think you finna pick. You got to be out your fucking mind. And you trustees that vote for him, you won't hold your seats very long. Because now I'm going on 2 missions when it's time to campaign. One to get me in office and one to get you out. Our children deserve better. But until tomorrow night, on behalf of my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetra K. Oh, and by the way, the COVID, the jab. They had to intubate me today. Every time I come, they stick the tube down my mouth. And I ain't got the COVID yet. Because they know when I come in, I tell them the same thing. I came in without it, I'm leaving without it. You get that to that person next door. Don't give it to me. Stop playing with these people, man, and use your own mind. Until tomorrow night, we'll holler at you.